Oh no, if only I had an oddly specific seasonal anime to watch that you can't watch in this region. Maybe I should go check my computer to see if there's such an anime out there. I wonder if there is. Huh, how crazy it is that my computer has already seemed to have pulled up a My Anime list page for Summertime Render, which says, according to the website, it may be unavailable in my region. Maybe I should make the topic of this video about Summertime Render. What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed the little sketch to open the video. I'm editing this week, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different for fun. Today, though, we're not talking about JoJo's. I talked about that last week, but this kind of ties into that, and I would consider this video to be kind of a part 2 to the JoJo's video I made last week. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend watching it, but it's not required to see this. But that said, if you're liking the anime content that we're doing here, like and subscribe on the video, and you can click the notification bell if you're feeling extra crazy. But today's topic is not JoJo's. Today's topic is a different anime entirely. As you've already seen from the opening little sketch there, it's Summertime Render. And you might not have heard of Summertime Render, and that's for good reason. Summertime Render is being kept from us in Disney jail. And let me explain what I mean, because I think that it kind of gets at a bigger problem that we're kind of seeing in the anime industry right now, and I'm kind of I don't even really have as much a solution to it as I'm really just kind of curious to see where it goes. But let's focus now on Summertime Render specifically. Back in October, there was a Deadline article that came out, and it talked about a bunch of different shows that Disney Plus had kind of bought the rights to, a bunch of shows that they were just trying to kind of hype people up for, right? And among those shows was an anime called Summertime Render, and it was going to be a 25-episode show, have 2 different cores, and release on Disney Plus at some point in the near future. It turned out it was going to be summer of this year. So we knew back in October that they were going to at least get the rights to the show if they didn't already had them. It seems like at the time that they did. Time passed, as it would, and it turned out that Japan was going to get the initial release for the show. Now, that's not unusual, Japan kind of getting first dibs at something made in Japan. I mean, typically we're going to get the first release of, say, Indiana Jones 5, and then other countries will get it shortly thereafter, because you have to do dubs or put in some extra work just to make sure that a different region has the right quotas met for that region. So it's not shocking that Japan would get it first, but Disney Plus is an American-based company, so you would fully expect that at some point it would go to Disney Plus on the US, subtitled. And the reason why you would expect this from Disney Plus isn't just because they were the ones that bought it. No, it's because they had actually done the whole anime thing before. Not only that, but they commissioned it. So if you guys are unfamiliar, I actually brought up a couple weeks ago in my quiz that I had my parents do a little show called Star Wars Visions, be one of the anime that they had to guess the title for. I tricked them, they both got it wrong, it was pretty funny. But the problem is, you wouldn't expect Disney Plus to do anime, and they really don't. So they commissioned other Japanese studios to do Star Wars Visions for them. Completely like a normal anime done in Japan. Everything was done as you would expect for an anime. The weird thing is, though, Summertime Render, unlike Star Wars Visions, doesn't have a release date yet in the United States. What's the disconnect? What's the holdup? I did research on this for a couple good hours, just trying to find where it's at. And I even tried to see if it had like releases in other countries, and it did. It had releases in Hong Kong, Thailand, Singapore. Some places were even reporting that it was in Australia and New Zealand. I talked to an Australian viewer of mine, and he said that they didn't have it in their region. The reporting was a little shoddy there, so it might be in Australia and New Zealand, it might not, but according to my good buddy Draco, it is not, at least for him. So thank you, Draco, for that information. But we're going to assume it doesn't have an English sub yet, and we'll give them the benefit of the doubt there. However, even with that said, you would at least expect them to want to get this anime to the forefront of just of the season in general, because the reason why Summertime Render would have been big this season is because what's coming next season in anime? This season would have been perfect for summertime render, and it is why it baffles me that Disney Plus is sitting on their hands right now with a show that I don't know how good it is generally, but I think it's got around an 8.5 out of 10 on my anime list, and it's kind of considered to be kind of a sleeper hit that just isn't available here. Unless you sail the high seas, which I would highly advise no one ever do. So, all of that said, all of that kind of put out there to the forefront, what do I mean by it's the perfect time? Looking at the next season, it is going to be one of the most loaded, like jam-packed seasons in recent memory. Spy Family Core 2 is coming out. Spy Family was an unexpected hit in spring of 2022, and the second core just was immediately greenlit, and we got it fast for a second core. Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is supposed to be the next big thing from MAPPA, the creators of Jujutsu Kaisen and many other big anime right now. MAPPA is huge right now. If you don't know anything that MAPPA's doing, look them up. They've got like 1 million projects, and all of them look really good right now. MAPPA is on fire. You also have Mob Psycho 100, something that a lot of people I don't even think really thought was going to get another season, judging by how hyped everybody was. And if they were expecting another season, I can't believe they got as hyped as they did, because everybody was so hyped when they saw Mob Psycho 100 was getting another season. Bleach. Bleach is massive. Bleach has been on hiatus for a decade, and it is making a comeback after 10 years. People are hyped out of their minds for that as well. And not only are they hyped for it, but if you wait 10 years for anything, you're going to be hyped for it. But I saw something about Bleach that I toned that down a little bit. I think I've seen reports that Disney has access to that one too. And from what I've heard some mixed things. It might not be good. I don't want to speculate too much on something that I'm not an expert on, but I'm pretty sure Bleach is in the hands of Disney as well for this upcoming season. So maybe look that up. I'll leave a link in the description if I find something that confirms that. But in general, I would be a little hesitant there if that is the case. But even still, even like Uzaki-chan is getting a second season, and it's coming out in fall of 2022. My point is, as you can very well hear from all of these titles, this is going to be one of the most loaded seasons in recent memory. You might not know those titles. I don't know if you, the viewer watching this, are an anime fan or not, but if you are, you're hearing those names and going, how in the world are we getting all of those in the same season? So Disney Plus holding on to summertime render, which would have, I truly think would have been an unexpected surprise hit of the summer season. Why are they sitting on it? It makes zero sense to me, and I think it gets back to the bigger problem that we discussed last week with Netflix, and we'll discuss again with Disney Plus. And I think it's a bigger problem with Netflix, but I think Disney Plus is also kind of in the same realm. Crunchyroll, Funimation, HIDIVE. Those are the three probably best known that just stream exclusively anime right now, right? The big three of anime streaming. HIDIVE's more like the definitely the third place. The meme where like the guy's spraying like champagne on himself, saying he's in first place, but really he's like in third place. That's kind of where HIDIVE is. But that said, my point is those are the big players right now, right? Netflix and Disney Plus are the big players in general streaming, not in anime. They don't know much about anime. And there's gotta be some sort of disconnect, and I'll explain what I mean, especially on the side of Netflix, because I think it displays the point better, but I think Disney Plus is doing the same, having the same problems that Netflix is. And that is getting massive properties and then not knowing what to do with them. Netflix currently has the rights to a bunch of anime. If you search for anime on Netflix, they've got a list what feels like 1,000,000 miles long. It includes JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, it includes Neon Genesis Evangelion, it includes, I believe, Your Lie in April, at least was on there for a very long time. So some bigger names in anime, but I very rarely have heard any hubbub about any of them going to Netflix, and Netflix sure doesn't do a great job of promoting them, especially in the case of JoJo's, which is a massive property. And Neon Genesis Evangelion, if I am in the position of Netflix, I would be promoting even harder since the Rebuild movies are coming out. Now, the Rebuild movies, granted, are on Amazon Prime. Neon Genesis Evangelion is weird. It's always been weird with the whole rights situations there. But again, my point is, you have these giant conglomerate streaming companies that know that anime is a big market, and I think their promotion teams who sit around, or their acquisition teams rather, we'll get to their promotion teams in a minute. Their acquisition teams sit together and they know the big titles. They're like, oh yeah, JoJo's is big, Evangelion's big, we need to buy those out. And Netflix is like, we've got money. They actually don't, but they're like, we have money, and they throw a bunch of money at it, and guess what? They don't promote it. The promotion team bombs every time, and I think it's because they don't really understand it. Frankly, I don't think they understand the impact of anime kind of in the, especially over. Nope. It's gotten to be a lot bigger over the past, like, couple of months, right? Or couple of years even. It is rapidly expanded into a multi-billion-dollar industry, and I really just don't think they know what they have. So, all of that said, I am curious to see in the future how these big conglomerates try to adapt to this ever-growing scene, because if they continue in the way that they are, they're just going to continue to frustrate fans. But I think there's a potential that they're going to finally listen. Right after I made the JoJo's video, like, in that week, they said, we're going to try and do weekly releases potentially. It's not confirmed yet, but there's kind of rumors floating about that Netflix is considering weekly releases for future content, JoJo's. So, all of that said, you kind of have to wonder if Summertime Render, if they're going to hold on to it maybe when there's a weaker season, or they're going to try to time it right, or if they're just going to one day throw the entire thing like as an English sub, or if they're going to sit on it and we'll never get it at all. I have no idea. I'd be curious to see what you guys think. Please, as always, feel free to leave a comment. I've been super busy, so I'm sorry I can't have a more kind of fleshed out video. I edited this all myself. Hopefully I can get things managed a little bit better in the future, but I'm planning a trip to Japan. I have college, and I'm doing this as well. So all of that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video.